Learning to code was the first step in my journey from a non-technical background to working in machine learning at Amazon. When I started, I followed a bunch of different tutorials and courses, which helped me a lot with the basics, but I still had a ton to learn as I was advancing in my career and working with larger companies and more complex systems. Looking back, I wish I'd had a clearer roadmap on how to actually go from a beginner to a professional. So today I'm sharing exactly how I would approach learning Python for data science and machine learning if I was starting over. Python is core to my daily work. I use it to build machine learning models, AI applications, conduct statistical analyses, and even present findings to stakeholders. Solid Python skills are absolutely essential for careers in data science and machine learning today. But why learn Python specifically? In December 2024, I analyzed the top skills needed for data science and machine learning careers. Python ranked number 1 for data science roles and number 2 for machine learning positions. The versatility of Python extends far beyond these roles too, so learning it puts you in a great position for related careers like AI engineering, data analytics, and potentially even software engineering down the line. Now you might be thinking, but what about AI? Can't tools like ChatGPT and Cursor just write the code for us now? While AI can obviously generate code, it doesn't necessarily create good code. I've been using AI-powered workflows extensively, and these tools aren't there yet. They're often making questionable choices like exposing API keys or implementing just inefficient solutions. We know these tools will continue to improve, but possibly more importantly, hiring managers report candidates submitting AI-generated code they can't explain, then failing technical interviews. Understanding Python will help you stand out in an increasingly saturated job market with fewer people who truly know what they're doing. In fact, there's tremendous opportunity right now in the AI engineering space, where we're building applications using Python. The field is evolving rapidly, and those who can build awesome stuff in Python are in high demand. But we all know it's not enough to just learn the syntax. To truly succeed, you need to understand everything about building systems with Python. Not just coding in notebooks, but creating production-ready solutions that solve real problems. That's what we'll cover in this video. Before we dive into learning Python itself, let's address something that might not be obvious to complete beginners. Where do you actually write the code? While you can certainly write code just in a text editor, there are specialized tools that help you write, test, and run your code much more efficiently. These tools are called Integrated Development Environments, or IDEs, or sometimes code editors. An IDE provides the environment you need to code comfortably. Things like syntax highlighting, debugging tools, built-in terminals to run your code, and increasingly AI assistance. I recommend beginning with an online code editor like Google Colab. These browser-based environments let you write and run Python code without installing anything on your computer, which is good because often this is one of the most overwhelming parts at the beginning. What makes Colab particularly beginner-friendly is its notebook format. Unlike traditional programming where code exists in separate files, notebooks allow you to mix code, visualizations, and text and view outputs directly. This format is perfect for learning because you can experiment with small pieces of code, see immediate results, and document your thinking process all in one place. Once you have your coding environment, focus on mastering these Python basics. Data types and data structures like integers, floats, strings, booleans, lists, dictionaries, and sets, and more. Next, conditional statements and loops. This is where you'll learn how to make decisions in your code with if-else statements and how to repeat actions with for and while loops. We'll also need basic functions, which allow us to create reusable blocks of code. And finally, reading and manipulating data. When you're first starting out, the sheer volume of information can be really overwhelming. That's why structured learning paths are so valuable. They give you a clear direction and help you focus on what matters. My favorite platform for this is DataCamp. I've actually been using DataCamp for years, back when I was first learning Python, and their interactive learning approach was really helpful for me. A great example is their Python Data Fundamentals track. It breaks the learning journey into manageable, interactive steps, starting with the basics and gradually moving into more advanced topics like data manipulation and visualization. What I really like is that you're not just passively watching. You're solving problems, getting feedback, and learning by doing right in your browser. It kind of feels like you're playing a game, which makes it a lot more enjoyable. Once you've built your foundational skills, you can also work towards their Python Data Associate certification or dive deep into one of their many courses to learn more advanced skills like writing efficient Python code, using specific machine learning libraries, or even building AI applications. I'll drop a link to both the Python Fundamentals track and some of my favorite courses in the description. Definitely check them out if you're serious about building your Python skills. And if you want a comprehensive guide to track your progress, I've created a free Python for Machine Learning skills roadmap that breaks down everything we're discussing today, including recommendations for courses and learning resources. Click the link in the description to download it and keep yourself on track as you build these skills. So courses and tutorials are excellent for learning the fundamentals, but there's a big difference between understanding concepts and being able to apply them to solve real problems. This is where project-based learning becomes really valuable. Start with projects that are challenging enough to push your skills, but not so complex that they become discouraging. Choose projects that genuinely interest you. Maybe something like analyzing your smartwatch data to see sleep patterns, or predicting sleep duration based on exercise. As you build your projects, you'll want to familiarize yourself with these core Python libraries for understanding and working with data. pandas for tabular data manipulation, NumPy for multidimensional arrays and mathematical functions, visualization libraries like matplotlib, seaborn, and plotly, and scikit-learn for basic machine learning algorithms. Learn enough basics to start, then deepen your knowledge as your project requires. As you progress from beginner to intermediate Python user, it's time to graduate from online environments like Colab to a professional local or cloud development setup. Installing Python locally allows offline work and complete control over your environment. For managing multiple Python versions, you can use something like PyEnv. Choose an IDE like VS Code or PyCharm, and spend time configuring extensions and hotkeys for efficiency. Virtual environments create isolated spaces for different projects with their own dependencies. Tools like Conda or Poetry help manage these environments. Lastly, set up version control with Git. This isn't specific to Python, but it is essential for tracking changes to your code, collaborating with others, and maintaining a history of your work. Once you have your environment set up, we're also going to change how we write code in general. Notebooks are fantastic for exploration and learning, but professional data science and machine learning work requires a transition to more structured, production-ready code. This is one of the biggest gaps I personally noticed when moving from academic to professional work. The book Software Engineering for Data Scientists is an excellent resource for understanding this transition. I'd recommend it for anyone making the switch to production systems, even aspiring machine learning engineers. Here are the key things we're going to do differently at this point. Unlike notebooks, where code flows linearly in cells, production code is organized into modules and packages with a clear separation of concerns. Learn to structure your projects with dedicated directories and scripts for data, models, utilities, and tests. We'll also want to use configuration files, which separate code from settings, making your programs more flexible and easier to maintain. Now that we have our setup looking more professional, it's time to turn our attention to improving our programming skills. Here are the key areas to focus on. Object-oriented programming is the foundation of scalable code. OOP allows you to create reusable, modular code by organizing related data and functions into classes. This becomes particularly valuable when building complex machine learning pipelines, as it makes your code more maintainable as projects grow in scope. Once you have code in production, you'll need to ensure it works reliably. This is where testing and automation comes in. Taking this a step further, GitHub Actions can automate testing whenever you push changes to your repo, catching issues before they make it to production. Beyond basic coding patterns, more advanced Python features will significantly improve your code's quality. Decorators, generators, and context managers may seem kind of abstract at first, but they can dramatically improve your code's efficiency and readability. Additionally, proper error handling is essential for building robust applications that gracefully handle unexpected situations instead of just crashing. As your code base grows, clean code practices become increasingly important. It's worth taking some time to check out a style guide. Personally, I am partial to the Google Python style guide, and it's what I use for most of my projects. When working with the large datasets common in data science and machine learning, code efficiency becomes critical. Learn to profile your code to identify bottlenecks, and optimize slow sections using vectorized operations, appropriate data structures, and algorithm improvements. These optimization skills become even more valuable in production systems where performance directly impacts costs and user experience. Security also becomes important when your code interacts with external systems or processes sensitive data, so this is something you'll need to learn about as well. Finally, tying everything together is proper documentation. Write clear doc strings for your functions and classes, create a comprehensive README, and consider tools like Sphinx for generating documentation websites. Luckily, this is something AI is great at, but it's still worth having some idea of what good docs look like. As you strengthen your software engineering skills with everything we just talked about, you'll also want to explore more sophisticated machine learning frameworks like PyTorch and TensorFlow. These libraries enable you to build and train complex neural networks. The learning curve is steeper than scikit-learn, but the capabilities for deep learning and custom model architectures are much more powerful. Okay, so I would imagine at this point you might be thinking to yourself that this seems like plenty to learn already, but we actually have just one more thing. The code you need for projects and even what you need on the job is not the same as what you need to get hired. Data structures and algorithms, or DSA, interviews are still common in 2025, even if these skills aren't used extensively in day-to-day work for most folks in data science and machine learning. Here's what to expect and what you'll need to learn based on different roles. If you're pursuing an analytics-focused data science role, you'll generally face less intense algorithm questions. These positions typically emphasize your ability to analyze data and extract insights. For machine learning-focused data scientists, you can expect a middle ground with stronger algorithmic skills plus machine learning knowledge. In terms of DSA, interviews will probably be just basic things like string and array questions. Machine learning engineer roles often have an interview process similar to software engineering positions, so multiple rounds of DSA questions, basically think LeetCode, medium, and hard. It's really easy to get sidetracked and dig super deep into learning DSA. While knowing this is really valuable, I would recommend doing an overview of the subject early on, then working on projects, and finally coming back to structured interview prep once you can actually build stuff. Resources like LeetCode's DSA course or Educative's Grokking coding interview patterns in Python are excellent for preparation. Now you might be thinking, What is the point of DSA interviews in the ChatGPT era? Isn't this exactly the kind of thing that AI is good at? Great question. And honestly, I don't know. I've never been a fan of these kinds of interviews, and I'm even less now. What I can say is you can expect stricter controls from employers and a stronger emphasis on problem solving. Being able to explain your approach has always been important, but it's even more so now. So with all this knowledge to gain, it's helpful to have some concrete strategies for effective learning. Here are some practical tips that helped me throughout my journey. First, focus on concepts over syntax. Don't worry about memorizing exact syntax. Instead, just focus on understanding the concepts and problem-solving approaches. With a strong conceptual foundation, you can always look up specific implementation details or use the AI for that. Test yourself regularly. Active recall strengthens learning more effectively than passive review. After learning a new concept, challenge yourself to implement it without referring to examples. The struggle to retrieve information from memory reinforces those neural connections. Similarly, rather than cramming a single topic intensively, expose yourself to various concepts repeatedly through diverse projects over time. This natural spaced repetition helps solidify your understanding in long-term memory. The journey from Python novice to professional data scientist or machine learning engineer is challenging. There will be moments when you feel stuck or overwhelmed, but these aren't signs you should give up. They're natural parts of the learning process that pretty much everyone experiences. When that happens, here are some tips. First, remember your why. When motivation wanes, reconnect with the reason you started this journey. Whether it's career advancement, solving interesting problems you care about, or just intellectual curiosity, a deeper personal motivation will sustain you through those more difficult periods. Also, I've said it before, but it really helps to learn with projects about things you're actually interested in. It's just so much more fun and effective. I have a couple videos on what makes a good project, so check those out next if you're interested. And finally, embrace the struggle. Learning happens most intensely during moments of difficulty. When you're struggling to understand a concept or fix a stubborn bug, you're building neural pathways that strengthen your skills. Everything gets easier with practice, but only if you push yourself to really figure it out, and don't just rely on AI every time you get stuck. Even though it's hard, it's worth it. Learning Python for data science and machine learning opens doors to lots of fun and rewarding opportunities. The journey requires persistence and the right learning approach. Starting with fundamentals, building real projects, transitioning to professional development practices, and preparing effectively for interviews. And remember, if all this feels overwhelming, don't forget to download my Python for Machine Learning Skills Roadmap PDF from the description. It'll help you organize your learning journey and track your progress as you go from beginner to production ready. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.